Come on a journey with me, Bree Lawrenson, where we talk about the stories behind the scenes in the music industry. Grab a drink or four. This is your front row ticket in to the distillery with me, Bree.
Episode 2 of The Distillery with Bree Lawrenson. Addict Tea coming back at you for episode number 2. Bree, how did you like your first episode?
Oh, I thought it was so fun. And I think that it's a wonderful way for me to be able to document all of the things that I've been through, so that people get more of an in-depth, more personal look at my life and like how I feel about things
And they get
that
to know
have
the
happened.
stories, right?
And yeah, and you know what? Mostly, it's when I think about, I want Zane to know like all the things that like my little boy, our little boy, to know
little dude.
the things that I've been through, and that it's okay to like try really hard and do something that you love. You know, it's that you should always want to achieve your dreams.
Yeah,
I want him to know that like it's okay to try really hard. You know, so.
So overall,
awesome.
you liked it.
It's awesome because, you know, it's also very like therapeutic for me because I feel like, you know, when you actually say what you're thinking and express, that's when you can actually like learn from the things you've been through and the lessons and heal too. So it's like therapy. I love it.
And the other thing too is in a lot of your shows and a lot of your like TikToks and Instagrams, you post these little snippets and these little stories, you know, of this happening in your career and that happening in your career. And now it's just like you have a platform to literally lay out your full story.
Yeah.
So people aren't having to piece it together, which is kind of cool too, right?
It's really great to just have the whole story, you know, there at their fingertips. If they want to know a little bit more about Bree Lawrenson,
then tune into the distillery every week.
The deep down dirty Bree Lawrenson.
Okay, well, come on, relax there. God, we are married. What are we talking about today then?
So I think the one story that I've been wanting to tell and that I sometimes forget about is the time that I got to record with one of Elton John's producers. So
the Elton John.
The Sir Elton John.
Sir Elton John.
Sir Elton John, yes.
Now, do we have to keep calling him Sir? Or?
No.
Okay.
This is why
I don't know how it works.
So I guess I always forget about the story, because it was like, I was 18.
So, okay. So let's start. So.
I'm definitely not 18 anymore.
So you're 18. Now, where are you at this point in your career? Because we just want to give a little bit of context as to kind of who you're working with, whether it be some sort of label or whatever the case is. So where are you at this point?
Yeah, so I, at 18, I actually signed my first record deal with an independent label in the Ottawa Valley when I was 15. And so this was well into that relationship. And
okay, so it's the same independent label that you signed with at 15.
Yeah.
3 years later, you're still with them.
Yeah.
Okay, and what album? How many albums have you kind of released?
I think it was probably at this point so we did 3 albums. So we were
in 3
working
years,
on the third
you did 3 albums?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
3 or 4 years. So I was like, I was 15.
Yeah.
And that's when I recorded my first album called Live No Lies, and it had 4 songs on it, just 4. So it's like it was like an
that was
EP. And so I was 15, and then we had a big CD release party, and we did a music video. Okay, my second album, I was like 16 or 17, yeah. And then we did a full second album, and then we decided to do another one with a few different versions of different songs and stuff.
And this is where this producer comes in.
And this is where we got to work with him.
Okay. And how was that connection made then?
I know, it was so weird. We met him over MySpace.
What? Remember my who out there
I
remembers
know.
MySpace?
Okay, this funny story. Side note about MySpace.
Yeah.
So when MySpace was a big thing, I was
Oh,
like
yeah.
16, and I had some pretty awesome people working behind the scenes for me. And one of the guys just was amazing at IT, and he figured out how to make me the number one artist on MySpace. And then MySpace like told him that he wasn't allowed to do that.
Crazy.
And they actually took it down. And I was like, he figured out how to crack the code to get me to number one in MySpace up above Avril Lavigne at that time.
And
I
you were
was
15.
and I was 16, probably 50,
And
15,
Avril
16.
Lavigne was singing what song at this point? It's complicated.
Yeah. Why you gotta go make things so complicated? Yeah, I loved Avril Lavigne.
I know. So
anyway, yeah, so that's my cool little story about MySpace. I basically hacked it and broke it. No, I didn't, but
like Brie Lawrence and the hacker here.
Yeah, I'm also a hacker
story.
on the side.
Okay, so you're 18, so you made this connection through MySpace. So you guys reached out, I guess? You and your independent label at that time reached out?
Because I was so young, I didn't have the main access to the account. Like, it wasn't me that anyone was talking to, it was my team. So I don't remember exactly how, like, if he reached out to us or not. I feel like it was a mutual connection on MySpace, and we started talking to him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And going back and forth, knowing that he was a top producer in his day, like he worked at that big studio in England, Abbey Road, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we went there and we saw it, and he brought us.
So you went there
in England.
You went there to record. That was the first time you saw it, or you went there once and they came back, then like went back to record.
So I only went there
once.
Yeah. On that venture.
Yeah. I know you've been.
But yeah, so I only recorded in UK one time, and I recorded 4 songs when I was there, and it was in a little town. They call a pottery town. So there was a huge pottery factory like right beside our studio,
like making like
pottery.
Like, is that plant? Like
plants, no like... pottery. Do you know what pottery is?
Yeah, like bowls and stuff.
Yes, like that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And anyways, the studio, it was called Prism Studios.
Okay.
And it was in a town called Stoke-on-Trent. And it was like a different world over there.
So you went down there and they set you up with a nice hotel close to the, yeah?
Well, I mean, we were acting as a label, so we paid for a lot of things, right?
Did you guys have like a suite when you went? Like,
I had my own room, of course.
Was it a room or was it a suite?
I think it was a room. It was just
But in a suite?
What?
Was there a suite at all, or was it all just like you guys all had rooms?
No, we all had our own rooms at a hotel.
Well, I'm just saying, like labels sometimes will put their bands up in suites. I just wasn't sure if they gave you like a kitchen, like a living room, and a separate bedroom.
I had not made the label any money at this point.
Okay, so gotcha. They're just giving you a room at this point.
Here you go.
Okay, so you did that. So when you got there, I guess did he meet you at the airport, or you guys just met him right at the studio?
I think he picked us up at the airport. And a funny other little side story is that like I got hit by a car.
When you were there?
Yes.
Well, hold on. Okay, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Did this happen like when you like?
It happened because we were trying to the roads compared to the roads here. The roads.
I hear they're smaller.
They're so small,
and I know they go like the different directions, but I hear like they're very like even. Like, you can't even walk when there's people driving?
That's what happened to me, because they drive so close to the curb to each other and the curb. There isn't really a curb. And so, like, my whole elbow was knocked, and it went, like, flying. And my producer was like, "Oh my God, your mom's gonna kill me. Are you okay?"
That's the greatest line ever.
And I was like, I think I'm fine, but like that was really
So
weird.
sorry, you said you hit your like elbow?
Yeah, it hit so the side mirror of the car, like on the
Yeah,
passenger
hit
side,
your elbow.
it hit my elbow as it was
And
driving
then were
by.
you like,
That's how close they are.
whoa?
That's how close they are. No,
That's
I didn't. It
insane.
didn't. I guess hit me hard enough to damage anything, but my arm went flying, and I was like, "What? What was that?"
And was this your first day there?
Uh, First or second. We
That's
were walking
crazy.
in a down in a little town called Cookham, and that's where Stu Epps lived in a nice little.
And that's the name of the
He
producer, right?
had, and that's the name
Yeah,
of
so
the
Stu Epps
producer that
is
we
one
work
of
with.
Elton John's
Yeah,
producers. Okay.
yeah, and he did 4 songs on my
Shout out
album.
to Stu.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience because I got to go over to England and like experience a whole new world that I'd never been in before.
So, okay, so let's talk about these 4 songs.
Hmm.
So, did you write these songs?
Yeah, I wrote a main part of that whole album. I've always been
Your own
the
writer,
writer,
basically, on all
but
your
yeah,
songs?
I
Yeah.
could collaborate with other
Yeah.
people as well.
So, what were the 4 songs?
Now, this is a good question because I haven't even thought of those songs in a long
I
time.
know we don't
Like
really go in
my
script or
catalog
anything
is
when we do
huge,
these
but
podcasts.
I
So,
feel like it's just there's so many songs that I've, you know, gone through in my life. So one of them is called Tension in Me.
now if somebody wants to find this, is it on your YouTube or is it?
You could get
It
it.
might be on your YouTube somewhere
I don't know.
because I don't think it's
It's
on your Spotify or anything.
it's not on Spotify. No,
This is behind the scenes.
these albums were done before there was Spotify, before there
Yeah.
was YouTube, before
Yeah.
before
Yes, there was a
everything,
world before all
before there
that,
was
everybody. Yes,
Napster, and then the
yes.
whole music industry
Kazaa.
died.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, that's that's how now I'm just like dating myself. I'm aging myself really. That's how old I am. Anyways.
So, um, you're doing this, and sorry, so okay, so you're down there, and then you don't remember the name of the songs.
Okay, Tension, and then the oh no, I'd have to look at the back of the CD.
Well, yeah, well, we don't have that very handy right now, so
Well, it's somewhere upstairs. I've
yeah,
got one,
we'll put it in the credits maybe.
but
So how what role does a producer play basically? So what's the prestige behind having Stu Epps produce
yeah.
these 4 songs for you?
Well, that's
Because I mean, there's I'm sure there's so much that did he tell you Elton John stories? Did you guys kind of talk a little bit about that?
I
So
mean, because I was like so young, I wasn't like a lot interested in like talking about Elton John.
oh, that sucks. That sucks.
But my producer at the time, he really he loved talking to Stu, and I would just basically be listening. And in the car, they drove us. Well, he drove us all the way to Stoke-on-Trent, which was like 2 hours from where we were staying, and like the clout, I guess, is like the word, to have your name
Associated.
associated with someone
Yeah.
who has the clout like that
Yeah. Yeah.
in the industry, in the music business, just like in any business, that's like priceless, right?
Yeah.
um it's like the same thing as me saying my producer was on I almost worked with Martina McBride's producer.
That's
So
another story for
which
another
is another story.
podcast.
Yeah. And then I learned a lot about the music industry then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was 18, and I mean, knowing that this guy was like from an era and worked with a guy that is amazing, incredible. I
Of
knew all the
course.
songs.
Yeah.
I was really excited, but I was really protected. And
What do you mean protected?
protected mean like it was always, me and my producer and Stu and the vocal engineer. Like we were together working on it as a team because I was still kind of a teenager, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot of my own ideas. I had a lot of my own thoughts
And
and lyrics, but
was he
and
kind of receptive
he
to
was
all that?
great. Yeah, we worked
Yeah.
together. We
That's
write
awesome.
together, and he did some really wicked tambourine
Oh, did he play
tambourine
the
case
tambourine on your?
on one of the songs that
Oh,
we did.
really?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was really neat to see how he worked in the studio.
So how did he work in the studio? So I mean, you would kind of you know, sing a song a certain way, and
Hmm.
then would he like add words at the end, or was he like trying in a different type of pitch, or
So what the producer does and what he did a lot, he was really directional. So they just direct you on how to phrase things or even
so the kind of
sing
by
certain
phrase, do you mean
melodies.
rewrite?
Not rewrite the song, no, just meaning like rephrasing sentences and
Oh,
stuff.
okay, okay,
Like the way that you're singing them, letting them roll off
okay.
the tongue, that kind of thing. And then he would kind of direct me on what runs to sing, when I could kind of do a little bit of vocal gymnastics and
Mm.
stuff here and there. But yeah, it was a really awesome time because I was so involved in like what I wanted the song to be about.
And you
And
must have loved that, being an 18-year-old and kind of,
yeah,
feeling like you're running your
yeah,
own
nobody told
team and
me what to
show.
do.
Yeah,
Nobody, like, they treated me like I was a star,
yeah.
and that I had something to give, that I had a voice in it.
Mhm.
And I think that's probably why he worked with Elton John. I mean, he's the best of the best. You have to be a person. You have to understand someone personally when you work with them in a room, like
Mhm.
especially when you're just like meeting them for the first few times, and then you're talking about songs, and all of a sudden you're like pouring your heart and soul out to this person that you've just met. Yeah, he's so and so's producer from the 70s. He's Elton John's producer from the 70s, but he's also just like
A human
a
being.
human, a
Yeah,
human
and you're
that
connecting though. Yeah,
is like-minded, as
yeah.
like me. So yeah,
Now,
you got to.
was this in the studio the same as Elton John? Like Elton John also came to the
No,
studio?
no, I never got to meet Elton John. I
No, no, sorry, but is this the same studio that Elton John recorded in?
No, I
Oh,
don't
no?
believe
Okay,
so.
okay.
Abbey Road, or
Oh, yeah, that's right. You said
we
Abbey
we
Road.
went for a look at that studio though. It was really awesome.
Is it? Is it just his plaques everywhere, like gold and
Yeah,
yeah?
basically, yeah, gold records, and yeah, it was really cool, and it was a great experience because I was still so young, and my world was changing, and I didn't know what was going to happen, but I always had such a positive outlook on my career. It's like it's like you're 15 and you get your first job, but it's a job that you love and you actually get paid to do it, kind of thing. It's like I
You were living
had
a
like a
rock star's fucking
full-time.
dream. Let's be
Yeah,
realistic here.
I
Like you
had
were
a
living like
full-time
you're a rock star.
career by the time I was 15.
Yeah,
And I was just still in high school, and traveling on the weekends to sing everywhere.
gigging.
Yeah,
So you were
with my
there
mom.
4 days. You were
Yeah,
there 4 days. How and
I
how
think
long were
4
you in the
days.
studio for?
We had like a few full days,
You
and I
like
remember
2 or 3 days?
I don't know, babe.
No,
Like, let's say 3 days.
3 days.
I mean, I was 18. I don't
I
really
know. Well, we're just
remember.
putting context to the story here.
I don't really remember exactly
Yeah.
how many days it was.
Okay, that's all right.
Um, but I remember going to this store across the street and it had like really good sandwiches.
Was it a
And
convenience store or something?
yeah, it
Or
was just like a convenience store, because like during the day, Stu would be like, "Are you guys hungry? Like, let's get lunch." He's like, "I can tell that you're hungry, because you know why I can tell? Because you when you're hungry, you always put your hands on your mouth, like you always start going like that, putting your hands."
that's weird.
I know, and
What a
that
strange
stuck with me
observation,
until
Stu.
this day.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
weird.
really? And then I started kind of thinking, do I? And then I noticed that I actually do. Like,
So when you get hungry, you just put your
I just
hand up
like
to your
start
mouth,
touching like around my
your
mouth and
chin.
my
Oh,
or my
really?
lips. It's so weird. But I mean, that's me, I guess.
Now I'm gonna have to look for it every time. Like, you're touching your face. I'm
You're
like, "Are you
learning all
hungry?"
these stories that I've never told you
I
in depth
know. That's
before.
crazy.
But I always remember that because I thought it was funny. But like he was really getting to know me, and
Yeah,
that's what that
yeah.
whole process
Well,
is.
that's how even this like the song "Guts and God,"
Hmm.
right? You wrote with somebody down in Nashville,
Yeah.
and you sat there and you met this person for the very first time,
Yeah.
and you guys were just getting to know each other and kind of sharing personal stories, right?
Very.
And then look at the song that came out of it. Like,
yeah. But and that's like whole. I feel like that's a big part of it is being able to let your guard down with a complete stranger when
yeah, that's
you're a
tough to do.
songwriter,
That's
right?
tough to do.
And you're a young woman.
Yeah.
Like that's what I guess I mean by when I say I always felt so protected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always felt like I could say what I wanted and people would respect what I said.
Yeah.
Because that's where I started from. So it was amazing to record with him. So Stu, we recorded there in the UK, and then he came to Canada, and we did some songs here.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
In the studio that we recorded
so on which album are those songs on?
It's the same 4 songs. So
Oh, okay,
we did a
okay.
bit there and a bit here.
So you guys didn't fully finish them down there?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I mean it was a part of the whole recording process. Yeah. I think. I mean, like, again, I was so young. I don't really remember a lot. But yeah, I've always kind of said. And then I also remembered because he came to Canada and we went to Tim Hortons to get a box of.
And now for our American friends, Tim Hortons is like your Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah. Right? It's got coffee,
Tim
donuts.
Hortons is in America too.
But I don't think it's very popular. Like
it's not as
when I was in Buffalo, there was a few Tim Hortons, like and Tony and I went and got Tim Hortons.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I think past Buffalo you're not going to find very much.
Pennsylvania, maybe Detroit. But yeah, there's none in like Nashville.
No, well that's what I'm saying. Just
I wish there was a Chick-fil-A in Canada. Oh, and a mellow mushroom.
What's a mellow mushroom?
Mellow mushroom. Well, you know how I love pizza.
Yeah.
So it's a pizza
I remember. Yeah, you told me about that place. Yeah.
There was one on down on Broadway, and I had the pizza was amazing. Anyways, that's quite.
We're foodies. Well, I mean, we're not foodies. We just like to eat.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So. What I remember about him being here in Canada was when we went to Tim Hortons, got the Timbits, and he said, "What are they called?" We're like, "Timbits. Would you like a Timbit?" And then he goes, "I'll always remember this. What is it? Tim's Bits." Tim's Bits. He's like, it's like the inside of a donut. Tim's Bits.
That's hilarious.
I thought that was so funny because I was 18 and I always thought that like Timbits were normal. Like I thought they were
everybody does
global thing.
Half the questions that people are probably going to be sending us on the socials are going to be like, "What are Timbits?" So what is a Timbit? You want to explain? It is kind of
what is a Timbit?
Well, no, like I know what a Timbit is.
Well, it's like the inside of a donut.
But you know what? That is the perfect explanation. No one's ever explained it that way, and that is the perfect explanation. It is the inside of a donut. Exactly. Like that is the perfect explanation. Yeah. Thank you, Stu.
I know. Tim's Bits.
And then when Elton John came down here for a dinner concert, you got to watch it.
Yes. I got to watch it sitting right in the sound booth where his sound engineer sits during the concert. And he had the huge board and everything. And
that's probably where it sounds like the best, eh?
Right in the middle.
It's right in the middle.
Yeah, it was amazing. It sounded awesome. And then we got a hat that said, "The bitch is back."
They got you a hat that said "The bitch is back"?
Because that's what one of his songs is called.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, yes, this is perfect.
That's awesome.
I need this hat. Again, I was 18.
Just spoiled.
Just spoiled rotten.
Hey, let's because your label also sent you to a 50 Cent concert?
Yeah.
With a bunch of your friends. They hired you a bodyguard.
I got a bodyguard for the night and a limo, and then all my friends, we got to go to the 50 Cent concert. Rihanna was the opener.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she was like a little kid, like almost.
I remember she used to play in Belleville back when we were teenagers. She used to play
Rihanna?
in Belleville. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. At Matt and fucking Joe's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember Matt and Joe's?
How?
I don't know.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
yeah. This was like way, we're
Yeah,
talking like
so
I was probably 18, 19 too.
when I
Well,
saw
lower,
her,
probably earlier than that too.
yeah, when I saw her, it was at the stadium at that point. And then yeah, 50 Cent came out, and we could like feel the bass like in our chests. It was
That's
like so
crazy.
loud.
The 50.
And then we had a really cool suite and buffet food. Oh my God. I was really spoiled,
Yeah.
you know?
And we should make a full episode on your whole entire years as an independent artist,
Yeah.
or signed to an independent label. Sorry, when you were 15. I think that'd be a cool episode too,
Like,
to really dive into it and give the people the um just kind of the behind. I don't want I keep saying behind the scenes, but kind of the input. You know what I
it's
mean?
like the
That
full foundation
yeah,
that brought me
yeah,
to this point. And
exactly.
it's the reason why I kept going in my career.
Yeah,
Because when I was so young, I started off like so well treated, and so like they put me on a pedestal.
hmm
So I just always thought from a young age that this was what I was meant to do for my life. There was nothing else I ever wanted to do.
yeah,
Like, it's like it's like getting in the NHL. It's like playing a game and you're
yeah,
getting paid to do it because you love to do it. And
yeah.
that's what one of my close family members said to me the first time my songs got on the radio. He's like, "You know what, Bree? Well, you just made it to the NHL."
Yeah.
I'm
That's
like,
pretty fucking cool.
that's a pretty cool way of explaining it. Yeah. So I feel like because it was ingrained in me at such a young age that I could do this,
You've been
that's
sticking
why
with it. Yeah,
I just continued even
yeah.
when I left that label, and I had to do everything on my own and learn how to friggin' run a business
And market and this and that.
and
Yeah,
yeah, do it all. Find the money, find you know, the right places to record at, the right people to record with. Like I was all of a sudden in charge of the whole thing
yeah.
because there was no other there was no other way that I paved myself at that point. Like
Well, it's all you
this was
know,
it.
right?
It
It's all
was
you
just
know. Yeah, yeah,
I got through school
yeah,
and this was my job.
yeah. And we're gonna dive into that because I think
Yeah.
again, I think it'd be really, really cool for everyone to really, you know, get
You know,
all that.
it's like there's a I think there's a documentary with Selena Gomez on Netflix, and she said something in the beginning of it. She said I had my first job when I was 15, and I was a kid and I just got to play. And she's like, so I just kept doing it. And I was like, that's literally how I feel
Yeah,
about my life.
fucking
You
Selena
know,
Gomez.
it's just my career is at a just is in a total different level than hers, obviously, because she's huge.
And Canada's a little tougher to kind of
Yeah.
break
Yeah.
through the whole scene, right?
Yes, for sure. Oh,
Um,
remember that showcase that we did, and
yeah, I
the girl
remember.
that won was Selena Gomez's like backup singer
Backup
or something,
singer. Yeah,
and
she
that's
did.
why she won.
Yeah, I remember she told a story. She was telling a story of when she went to record with Selena Gomez, but she didn't actually record with Selena Gomez. And this
Right.
is right, like
Yeah.
she's just like, yeah, I got asked to go down this like basement studio with this
Yeah.
guy. It's like, and they put me in a booth and I recorded, and then I left. This was all done in Canada, but Selena Gomez was recording in the States. She's like, next thing I know, the song gets released and I download it, and it's like, oh yeah, like
They used her tracks
they
too.
used my tracks. Like it's
And that's
crazy.
the amazing thing about, and that's why I've been able to keep going with this music career because of technology. I don't always have to be in Nashville when we
Yeah,
do the recordings,
yeah.
but you could just like send tracks back and forth now. That's like how it is,
It's
right?
the new world.
Yeah.
Um, well, that was great. I think that was awesome. That was really, really neat.
Yeah, it was a great. You know what? I also wanted to say because this was a really big way that I remembered the whole experience because I love music so much. I use music as a way to remember things intensely because I know exactly how I felt when I heard those albums or because I throw myself into the words and the whole vibe of the song would be my life, especially when I was like 15. Um, I was listening to during the whole England trip. Um, I think it was 17 or 18. I was listening to JoJo's first album.
What's that song?
Oh, it's not. It's a little too late. Too little, too late.
No,
It's
there's.
just a little too late.
Oh yeah, okay, I know that one. But she had another big song. Get out
Get in, gang.
right now. It's the end of you. And
anyways, she's an amazing singer,
she
and
really is.
I remember literally, like when I listened to that album, I remember being in the hotel room in the UK and how the phones sounded when they rung. It was like a beep, beep, like it was a
Sorry,
really
just do that one more
weird.
time.
It was like beep, beep.
Thank you. Go ahead.
And I was like, "What is that? It's the telephone." Um. Anyways, yeah, that album was like a big influence. But I have a lot of influence. Like Avril Lavigne was a big influence on me then, because I was in my teenage angst years.
Yeah. And she was like anti,
Oh, she was.
you know.
She's.
I do what I want.
I freaking love all those
She's from
albums.
Napanee.
I
I was
know.
raised in Belleville, so I basically know her.
Yeah. Where does she live now?
Oh,
California.
who the fuck knows? Probably. Is she still married to Chad Kruger?
No, I think they got divorced,
Oh,
but
did
I
they?
think they're still friends.
Oh, good for them. That never works, but good for them.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
I've never been friends with any of my exes.
I sure hope not.
No.
Yeah, that was really cool. I know that we've talked about it before,
Yeah.
but I didn't know the thing about him noticing that when you were hungry. That's cool. That's a really cool little tidbit.
And also, we went to this really cool pub. And like over there in England, in the pubs, they all have wine. Like you order wine for the table. I was 18 and I was like, sweet, I get to drink wine over here.
Oh, is it 18 there?
Oh, they don't even hardly have like an
Oh,
age
good for
restriction
them.
in the UK, yeah,
Good
in
for
the
them.
Europe, yeah.
Make it rain.
So we got a bottle of red wine, um, and when I ordered my dinner, I wanted fish and chips, and they just call them um, chips. They called, like potato chips.
Yeah.
They call them crisps.
Oh yeah, you told me this before. Yeah,
And
yeah.
so that was like
So
another.
potato chips like in a bag are crisps.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. So and the fries
Oh
over
wait,
there are like
get chili in.
huge, big, long like wedges.
Like steak cut fries?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
oh,
I mean,
those are
at
my
least the
favorite
pub that I
fries.
was at that day. But anyways, yeah, it was a really
So what was your
cool.
favorite food when you were down there?
I think I had the Sunday lunch. It's like a high noon lunch. It's like a Yorkshire pudding
Oh,
with like beef and gravy and
that sounds
Yorkshire
good.
pudding with mashed potatoes. It's like that kind of.
Oh,
That's very English right there. That
and
meal.
just all just topped up with gravy.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
God, that sounds good.
yeah.
You know what's
They.
big in the States that I really would love to get big into myself would be
Mhm.
biscuits and gravy.
I love biscuits.
Yeah, we
Oh.
should make biscuits with gravy. Um,
Yeah, but I mean, it was such a crazy time for me, and I was really grateful for the whole experience. It was like I was becoming worldly at that point. Like I was learning from another country. Like, and I remember I went over there, called my mom, and I said it's noon. We're gonna just have a tea, and she's like, you have a English accent.
gonna have a tea.
I'm like, do I? She's like, yes, your accent is changing already, and you've only been there like 2 days.
That's what happens when after you spent a month down in Nashville, you came back, you had this whole southern drawl thing going. I'm
I
like, what
know.
the hell happened?
Well, there's just things that I say that sound more American,
Yeah,
like uh real quick, like
yeah.
just hold on real quick. Like I find that little phrases like that, like I'm gonna go get a shower instead of have one.
Sorry, am I keeping you up?
Excuse me, you yawned 6 times while I was ranting.
We got to record these at night because we have a baby boy who's who sleeps at night. This is when we do this. So, Bree, what did you think of our second episode?
I thought it was really great. So fun. Awesome. This is like you're learning all about me.
Yeah, it's great. It's cool for me too. Yeah.
You didn't. I mean, you did know, but some tiny little tidbits you didn't.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
So that's why it's really cool. It's like a personal, right
for both of us. Yeah, it's like a personal journey for both of us, as well as the listener.
There you go.
And if somebody wants to check out your music, if somebody wants to check out, what's upcoming in your career, music wise, where can we find?
Yeah, BreeLawrenson.com. BreeLawrenson.com. But then you can just find me on TikTok at Bree Lawrenson, Instagram at Bree Lawrenson, YouTube. All my music videos are on YouTube. I'm everywhere. Google me.
Google me. Google me, bitch.
Just Google me.
We want to thank our producer, Tim. Tim runs another podcast, Beard and Board. Check that out. Tim is the man who puts it all together and puts it up for everyone else to hear. So appreciate all your help. If somebody wants to email us, where can they find our email?
BreeLawrenson.com.
BreeLawrenson.com.
The Distillery.
The Distillery. If you have podcast ideas, if you have questions for Bree, check us out. BreeLawrenson.com. You'll be able to find all of Bree's socials, Spotify links, all that in our email to tell us what you thought of today's show. Until next week, I'm Addict T.
I'm Bree.
And we'll see you next week.
Addict T and Bree.